what up, Chai here, and I've been playing on retro consoles nowadays, and for some reason, this has the worst video output that I've ever seen in my life. This and the PS2. The fact that I have this console plugged into my TV is pretty bad, not gonna lie. So I've been on the modding scene recently just to make this video output look way better on a modern TV.
I've mentioned in the past that I brought a few of my consoles from Washington in order to start collecting again. I received my Xbox One, PS2, and Nintendo 64. At the same time, I wanted to output the best quality video out of my consoles. Of course, Xbox has HDMI, the PS2 has component cables, and Nintendo 64 has composite. Why does it have that?
Yeah, the 64 is probably the worst when it comes to video output. All the video is pretty much washed out and doesn't show enough detail.
Back in the day, if you remembered, all the game consoles come with composite video cables, which all CRT TVs have. And it was a simple plug to the corresponding colors and then your game is on your TV. Modern TVs have this too, but it doesn't really look that pretty. Not just that, but also you can get lag due to the TV not being able to read 240p. Instead, it sees 480i, which upscales to 1080p or whatever your TV's resolution is.
So, what is the solution? Get a better cable.
The step up to what the 64 can handle is S-Video, which is a cleaner signal to your TV, as I explained before. But not a lot of newer TVs have this anymore, so that's out of the window.
Well, I guess there's no other options. Except there's one cable that I didn't mention yet.
SCART or Euroscart. This is a video signal in Europe, which is the cleanest video signal for retro consoles. It's a pretty beefy plug, but it's worth every dollar.
But this console is American and will not support this type of cable. But not yet anyway.
I've been doing a lot of research in the interwebs trying to find a solution for this issue. In the past, I've talked about different video cables to see which one is the best one, and this led me to modding my consoles to RGB. So I ordered a part from Voltar's website and comes with a few wires so I can solder the part to the board to get the power and signal.
So I got the console, I got the gear, I got the mod chip. Let's start modding.
Let's open up the 64. It has 6 security screws on the edges. The security screws are a type of screws to prevent the average consumer from opening it up and losing their warranty from Nintendo. But this console's over 2 decades old, so who cares? Now we're inside. I gotta take out the screws on the side of the motherboard and the power and video plugs. After that, the board is free. Now I gotta flip it over because that's where the magic happens. I navigate the video plug to the pins and place my RGB chip right on top of that, and it's an easy fit. Then I just gotta solder the pins to the chip. I'm putting solder in the bottom of the chip because that's where the wires are gonna go. Not bad. So what happened was I had the wrong Nintendo 64 model. Forgot to mention this mod would only work with consoles that have the serial number beginning with NS1. I had the NS2 model which did not work, so I had to trade it with a buddy at work. Okay, continue. Now I soldered the wire to the board. I tracked these 3 pin holes on the board and I soldered the wires there. It's a bit tricky, so I just took my time with it. As long as it sits good, I'm okay with it. And the other end, I followed the cable to a 90-degree angle and soldered the end to the chip. As for the last wire, I had to solder this pinhole to get the video sync. It's the same process as the last 3 wires, so I will just be patient with it. Now the mod is done. Before you put it back together, this is a good time to clean the console with IPA. Then after that, all it is just putting it back together and test it. To test this, I have an open source scan converter or an OSSC which can support component, SCART, and VGA. I can line double from 240p to 480i or higher, so let's test it. I've been troubleshooting the signal for 2 hours, opening it up and closing it and realizing the metal shield is interfering with the signal, so I had to bend it a little part of the shield and get it to work. Anyways, after doing this mod, this video is super crisp. You can see the full detail on the test and some characters from a distance and see clearly now. I'm testing multiple games so I can see the missing pieces. This has to be the best thing ever done to a console. After doing this mod, I'm playing a lot more 64 games. A good chunk of my games I bought recently I haven't even played yet, but I can now. I mean, yes, there are other mods I should have done, like a different RGB chip with more advanced software, or go with the high end and get an Ultra HDMI mod, but for my use, I think this simple mod is perfect for my setup. For this, I still have the option to hook up my console to a CRT TV if I really wanted to, or use some special component cables. But the options are endless, and it varies for everyone.
I have to say I'm blessed. The good thing about this is that not only the 64 has a mod chip, but also the NES and the SNES has their own too. Hell, even consoles back in the day supported RGB from the start. I'm talking to you, Sega Genesis. There are some consoles I really want to mod, either they're not with me or I haven't even bought it yet. But in order to do so, I'm going to have to save money, so I'm guessing I'm going to have to wait. No, too late!